thinking back a few years ago to the first conversation that we ever really had as a family about whether or not Barack Obama could realistically become president of the United States. That conversation actually happened between Mom, myself, Taikari, Yasu, and David right here in this living room in 2007. It was quite a rousing debate about whether or not that was a realistic hope. But as, you know, we all kind of evolved, and I give Taikari some credit for really believing that from the get-go, that if anybody in the world at that time had the potential to do it, it was this man. He made us look at him in a way that we really probably hadn't, because we're conditioned to not. And so we really began to, and from that moment, that conversation was really a defining moment for us. I really remember every step in the process, from there to where we stand right now. But a few months after that, you know, he announced for sure that he was going to run, because that conversation happened before he had even made the official announcement. The primaries got well on their way, and Hillary Clinton really had her eyes set on the White House. And I think that America as a whole really believed that she was going to do it. Pollsters, the media, you know, all the research told us that she really was the likely Democratic candidate. As the primaries started off, there were some shockers. He came in and had a few victories that nobody expected. And as the New Hampshire primary came near, all the statistics, all the research, every, you know, big person who's supposed to know it all in this field said, okay, whichever of these two candidates wins the New Hampshire primary, that is who is going to be our Democratic candidate for President of the United States. So the New Hampshire primary came in. It was the first time I ever made phone calls for a presidential candidate. We pushed, we pushed, we pushed. We knew that he just had to win. And on January 8th, 2008, the New Hampshire primary happened and he lost. And everybody waited. All the media was just abuzz as soon as the numbers came in, and they knew that he couldn't pull it out, and everybody was like, hey, his defeat is imminent. This is what's going to happen. Hillary Clinton is going to be our candidate. So about 10 o'clock that night, Barack Obama entered an auditorium in Nashua, New Hampshire, and gave a speech that changed the game in a way that nobody ever could have anticipated. He taught us that not only was he the best candidate, and that he could do this, but that we were the change that we had been waiting for. That it wasn't just about him, it was about each and every one of us. So I want you to go back with me to January 8th, 2008. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Barack Obama.
We know the battle ahead will be long, but always remember that no matter what obstacles stand in our way, nothing can withstand the power of millions of voices calling for change. We've been asked to pause for a reality check. We've been warned against offering the people of this nation false hope. But in the unlikely story that is America, there has never been anything false about hope. For when we have faced down impossible odds, when we've been told that we're not ready, or that we shouldn't try, or that we can't, generations of Americans have responded with a simple creed that sums up the spirit of a people. Yes, we can. It was a creed written into founding documents that declared the destiny of a nation. Yes, we can. It was whispered by slaves and abolitionists as they blazed a trail toward freedom through the darkest of nights. Yes, we can. It was sung by immigrants as they struck out from distant shores, and pioneers who pushed westward against an unforgiving wilderness. Yes, we can. It was the call of workers who organized, women who reached for the ballot, a president who chose to move our new frontier, and the king who took us to the mountaintop and pointed the way to the promised land. Yes, we can to justice and equality. Yes, we can to opportunity and prosperity. Yes, we can heal this nation. Yes, we can repair this world. Yes, we can. And so tomorrow, as we take this campaign south and west, as we learn that the struggles of the textile worker in Spartanburg are not so different than the plight of a dishwasher in Las Vegas, that the hopes of a little girl who goes to a community school in Dillon are not so different than are the same as the dreams of a boy who learns on the streets of LA. suggests that we are one people and we are one nation, and together we can begin the next great chapter in America's story with 3 words that will ring from coast to coast, from sea to shining sea. Yes, we can.
All right. All the money in my pocket. I'm mad at
Wait, he's not done.
I don't get paid. All right.
We could twice.